Welcome to April. We are now back into Mercury retrograde time. You're going to see many things still moving forward, but it's going to be a time that you're going to have to stop and slow down and pause. Let the natural rhythms play out. What's going to change as of March 20th and running all through April and lingering until May 14th is how to align with what you want to do. I encourage you to work with the flow. Avoid trying to make anything happen during this retrograde window. It can cause you frustration, and the outcomes are often shorter term and they're less grand than you may desire. This is going to be a time for you to really sit back and see what comes to you. Leave yourself time for that last minute magic, as I like to call it, by leaving yourself as unscheduled as possible. We're currently in the heat of eclipse season. The theme is continuing on the Aries Libra axis, and it began back in early 2023 and it's going to run until early 2025. Now, last month we had a lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra on March 25th, and on April 8th of this month we're going to have a solar eclipse at 19 degrees Aries. This eclipse cycle is going to be vacillating between the energies of the me-we sectors of your life. The focus is going to be on your individual and your relationship empowerment as the highest expression of the potentials. Eclipses, they're linked to the ecliptic, just as the north and the south nodes are. The nodes of the moon, they're connected to your karma, for better or worse, and your dharma, your highest expression of this lifetime. Eclipses, they tend to bring these events or these opportunities that unlock your fate, and they rapidly escalate these big events that are tying you to your destiny. And then finally on April 20th, we're going to have the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. This is probably the biggest event of the year, combining expansion, change, and innovative solutions. Hi, I'm your astrologer Patricia Tate, and this is your April 2024 monthly astrology forecast. To get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. Now let's dive in. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, I want to start off with April 2nd, Mercury is going to station retrograde. So with Mercury stationing retrograde, I have a separate video on it, but I want to explain that it's going to flavor the overall theme of the month, because it's going to start off with retrograde, and then at the end of the month, it will then be moving forward. It will be moving direct. So when Mercury is retrograde, it's rethink, reevaluate, redo, reread, rekindle. This is in your third house of communication. Who do you communicate with on a daily basis? Mercury now is going to be going back through this house, and it's going to go across your Chiron, your wound. So this is, where was I wounded when I was a young child, with school or communication with siblings and neighbors and cousins, and then the two other houses that Mercury rules over. So as Mercury goes back through this will have you rescheduling, recalibrating, restarting, reconnecting, all of these topics. That's going to be your month of April. And then you add in the eclipse and everything else. So know that it's a time to stop and pause and look back at your past. Next, on April 8th, we have a new moon solar eclipse at 19 degrees in the sign of Aries. I love this for you in that, again, this area is going to be activated. The Aries Libra part of your life has been activated with the eclipses for the past year. Aries represents the warrior, you. Libra is everybody else, you with somebody else, the scales, trying to balance out everybody else. This is in your third house. It's really activating your relationships with other people, with siblings. It's communication, it's acquaintances, it is you with short distance travel, you focusing on a sense of self, you saying, I need to do some things for myself and not always be thinking about everybody else, needing some healthy boundaries. And what does that look like? The main themes are going to be about independence and courage and individuality. All those topics are going to be on the front burner. It's you getting a footing with, I need to be pushed outside of my comfort zone. I know that there's going to be doors that are going to be closing and having these fated endings where I can't go back, and this new beginning where I have to adjust myself with. A new moon is a clean slate, a new beginning, or fresh start to try something new that's innovative and going at it with passion and confidence. And this is taking a class or workshop, something that's close to you, communicating with neighbors, communicating, writing letters, books, short journeys. This is the house of technology, and it's the house of like, it's technology and science, and it's also education, and adding in those topics of what can you do that's closer to home. And so this eclipse, a new moon eclipse is a new moon on steroids, and it's saying I need to reevaluate my relationship that I have with myself, and learning and speaking and sharing, making important changes in my life. I need to look for the adventure. I need to find the inner happiness. I need to be self-sufficient, and this means with what I say, how I say what I mean, and mean what I say. Now, what I believe is probably the biggest aspect of the month is April 20th. On April 20th, we have Jupiter conjunct Uranus at 21 degrees in the sign of Taurus. This is in your 4th house of your home, your foundation, your past, your traditions, your real estate, your property, people that feel like family, people who have shaped you, or it's really the people that are in your home that build your foundation. It could be genealogy, it could be past lives, it could be, grandparents, or, all right, so let's talk about Jupiter and Uranus. Jupiter is the great benefic. It brings these opportunities for growth and expansion. Uranus is the planet of progress and surprises. And so in your 4th house of what does that mean for your home? Is that starting new traditions, or finding out about family members that I didn't know, or doing past life regressions? All of those topics are available. I look at this as probably like ancestry DNA or something like that also. Now, the strong manifestation potentials are between April 4th and May 8th, and then they magnify around the 20th, where it becomes exact, because when the planet of expansion and extremism combines with Uranus, the planet of shock and surprises, anything can happen, and it can happen quickly, because Uranus represents electricity. So think shock, surprise, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, holy smokes. Like, Taurus is an earth sign, and it doesn't like its world to be rocked, and like this can literally mean like earthquakes or something happening. There can be the positives that come from this, because I'm looking at this from a really positive, like great things can come from this. Technological and scientific advances about finding out about who you are, or where you come from, or your home, or your family, your foundation, pointing you into the right direction, having these innovative solutions to help you solve these problems about where you want to go and what you want to do. And there can be also financial opportunities that can come from this transit. Then on April 23rd, we have a full moon at 4 degrees of Scorpio. So the sun, illuminating your 4th house, your home, remember all the shocking surprise things that are going on, the sun is there now, with your focus being like directly on it, saying this is where I should be focused on. But the full moon is revealing some things, having some culminations, having some endings that have to do with your job, your career, legacy. The 10th house is your public life. It's your professional life, your ambitions, your reputation, honors, awards. Scorpio usually means secrets, things being revealed that you wanted to keep a secret, and now the secret is out, or things are going to be revealed. A full moon, during the day we can see things with the sun. At night we can see things differently, or see things that were once hidden. And so this is about revealing some things, or having some ending. So it could be an ending to a job, and this could be you like moving on from the job or leaving that job. All endings and culminations are not all bad. Sometimes they are we do it, like I'm ready to move on from this, I'm ready to do this, and other times it is done to us. All right, then the very next day is April 25th. On April 25th, Mercury is now going to move direct. What I like about this is we started off with Mercury retrograde, flavoring the month with this is where I want you to go. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go back over these areas of your life, of how you communicated, who hurt you, healing that wound. Now, Mercury is conjunct the North Node, your destiny, your direction, your life path, saying, you now know the words that have hurt you, mentally, physically, spiritually, how you took it all in. I mean, Mercury rules over your 8th house of like the deep bonding and your 5th house of children. And so we know some things in your life were shaken up. And now with more of a healthier adult perspective, you can look back at it and say, I'm ready to heal from this. I'm ready to move on past this. I'm ready to let go of this. I'm going to look at the gift that comes from this. Like, what am I going to gain from this? And how can I move towards my North Node, move towards my future? All right. So, Aquarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.